All right, confession time. I had to Google who was playing in the big game this weekend. However, that doesn't stop me from thinking about what kind of yummy snacks I want to make for my family this weekend. So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 of our favorite recipes for appetizers, party food. Even if you're not watching the game, you're going to want to make these. All right, I got my rolls cut in half. Now we're gonna go over to the stove and make the little butter mixture that goes inside. We're just gonna add 1 stick of butter. And the recipe also calls for chopped fresh chives, just about a tablespoon. There we go. But I want to show y'all these I picked up on my last grocery haul, and they are freeze-dried chives. It says it's 2 bunches inside. You just put them in the fridge and they stay good for a whole lot longer than chives. To my saucepan, I'm also gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt and then a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just gonna let this butter melt along with all these other flavors in here, and this will be our sauce for our sliders. All right, so I got my butter mixture over here, and I'm just gonna brush on a little layer of the butter right onto the buns. Next, I have a pack of Colby Jack cheese. This recipe in particular calls for 12 slices. This pack comes with 11, so I'm just gonna use this pack. Next, we're gonna add our chicken layer. And I just went to the deli and got 1 pound of shaved chicken breast. So it's really, really fine. And of course, you could even do this with rotisserie chicken or just chicken that you cooked yourself. But I think it's gonna be really good with this shaved deli chicken. Next, you're gonna take about 8 slices of bacon, cook it and crumble it up. Or you can use another shortcut like I'm gonna do and just use some real bacon bits. And I'm just gonna sprinkle some on. All right, the next layer is gonna be our ranch dressing. And it says about 1/3 cup, but I'm just gonna drizzle some on. Next is another cheese layer. I'm just gonna use about 4 slices of cheese here. I think that'll be enough since we already have a good layer of cheese down below. Next, we're gonna come in with another brushed butter layer. Oh my goodness, y'all, these things look decadent. Right, now we're gonna brush the tops again with that butter, chive, and garlic mixture. And y'all, I still have a good bit of butter in here. It really doesn't need all that, so I'm just gonna leave that to the side. Last but not least, we're gonna give a little sprinkle of just the green can Parmesan cheese. Now I'm gonna loosely cover these with some foil, and these are gonna bake at 350 for about 20 minutes, and then I'll uncover them for another 10 minutes. All right, y'all, here they are. They look so good. And I actually only baked them for the 20 minutes. I uncovered them, and the sides are starting to get a little brown. So I'm not even gonna put them back in there. I think they look delicious just as is, and I cannot wait to try them. So we all know you can't have football or tailgating without some sort of buffalo chicken. So we're gonna start with the Members Mark buffalo style boneless chicken bites. These are so delicious, and it's gonna make this recipe come together super quick. All right, so I have my oven preheated to 400. These are just gonna go in the oven for about 10 minutes, and I'll give them a quick little toss, and then another 8 minutes, and these will be done. So I happen to think blue cheese goes so wonderfully with buffalo chicken. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit of blue cheese to each of these little buffalo chicken bites. I also picked this up at Sam's as well. And we're gonna pop this back into the oven just to melt that cheese. And we're gonna make these the cutest little buffalo chicken bites ever. And of course, if you don't like blue cheese, you can just add some ranch or leave it off altogether. But comment down below what you like with your buffalo chicken. Are you ranch or blue cheese? I love blue cheese on anything, so I could just literally eat the blue cheese. All right, so I'm gonna put that back in the oven just a couple minutes to get that blue cheese all nice and melted, hugging those little buffalo chicken bites. All right, while our buffalo chicken is in there melting with that blue cheese, I just have some toothpicks and I have some celery that I already chopped up. I'm gonna put it on my little toothpick about halfway down, and then you guessed it, we're gonna put the buffalo chicken on the bottom half. How cute is that, and how delicious does that look, and how easy? Little buffalo chicken bites, you got your blue cheese and your celery. These are gonna be so good and perfect for tailgating. Let's make the rest really quick. I don't know about y'all, but I think that looks so, so good. Of course, we're gonna start with a roll of crescent rolls. All right, so we're just gonna get these rolled out. We're gonna keep these in triangles. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and separate mine. Make it a little easier before we add the filling. And I will say for this, we're not gonna add any sauce to our filling in here, but you totally can. I just like to use the sauce as more of a dipping sauce when they're done. It's just a little easier and less messy, in my opinion, than trying to roll these up with a bunch of sauce inside. But they're good either way, so it's up to you. All right, next I just have some pepperonis. I'm just gonna add probably about 3 to each one. Of course, you can add as many as you want, or add whatever other pizza toppings you want to this as well. If you like black olives, you could do onions, bell pepper, anything like that, or make a variety of different ones. But we're just gonna do pepperoni. I have some mozzarella cheese sticks. We're just gonna add those right on top of our pepperonis. And these are just 4 cheese sticks, of course. I just cut them in half. And now, of course, we're just gonna roll up our little crescent rolls. Just like that. And we're gonna lay them on the pan. All right, we got all our little crescent rolls rolled up. These are going into the oven. I already have it at 375 for about 10 to 12 minutes. We're just gonna watch them until they get nice and browned. All right, while those are in the oven, I'm just gonna melt couple tablespoons of butter. We're gonna make like a little garlicky butter to go on top. All right, to our melted butter, I'm just gonna add a little sprinkle of garlic powder and a little sprinkle of Italian seasoning. Also on the side, I'm just gonna add some pizza sauce. Like I said, you can do it inside or just put a little dipping sauce container with your pizza rolls, or give everybody their own. All right, our crescent rolls are out of the oven. So now we're just gonna brush each one with that garlic butter that we made up. These look delicious. They remind me of little miniature calzones. All right, how good did these look? And those are seriously the most easy things to make ever. So I'm just gonna add in a couple tablespoons of diced onion. I am halving this recipe just for us because we're only gonna be using 1 small pack of the little smoked sausages today, just for our family. But of course, I'll have the recipe, the full recipe down below if you wanna make the whole thing, if you're doing it for like a gathering. So I just have my couple tablespoons of onion in my pan here, and I'm just gonna saute that just until they're a little bit soft and have a little bit of color on them. And you can add a tiny bit of butter or oil to this if you need to, but with this pan I'm using, I don't have to add any oil at all, just my onions in my pan. All right, my onions are done sauteing. We're gonna work on the sauce. First, I'm just gonna add right to the pan about 3/4 a cup of barbecue sauce. I'm also adding about 1/4 a cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, just a few little dashes. And then here is where the bourbon comes in, about 1.5 tablespoons of bourbon. And I'm gonna go kind of light with that. I do not like bourbon, y'all. And give that a stir and let this just kind of simmer for a couple minutes. But yes, I do not like bourbon at all. That is Darren's thing. But in here, it just adds a little something to the sauce. You really can't tell what it is. You definitely can't tell it's bourbon. It is really good, and this is just a different little take on this recipe that everybody seems to have their own twist to. If you make these little barbecue cocktail weenies, let us know down below. What's your recipe? How do you make them? All right, while that sauce is kind of simmering, we're gonna open up our little smokies and we're gonna get those into this sauce. All right, we got our little weenies in there. I'm gonna stir them to combine everything. I'm just gonna leave this on about medium heat, let it come back up to a simmer, and it's just gonna simmer for about 20 minutes. And these are done, could not get any easier. All right, my weenies have been simmering over here for about 20 minutes. I just got them on low. They are pretty much done. So I'm gonna get these transferred but I cannot wait to eat one. Yum, these are so good, y'all. You cannot taste that bourbon in there at all. Get a little hint of that onion. They just taste sweet and smoky. If you take these to your gathering this year, people are gonna gobble these up in no time. So I'm just taking a medium-sized onion. I'm gonna slice that really thinly and then just saute that in a couple tablespoons of butter until it's nice and soft and caramelized. Then we're gonna bring over, of course, a package of our Hawaiian rolls, and I'm gonna get those all sliced in half and then just put the bottom into a 9x13 baking dish. Next, we're just gonna add on some cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you like. I'm just using some provolone, and basically I just wanna make a big layer of cheese. It's gonna be cheesy and delicious. And then next, we're gonna bring over some ultra thin roast beef. I'm just using the Hillshire Farm kind, and it turned out perfect. And you just wanna kinda layer this on. And I kinda like to bundle mine up. I just think the texture is better than just, you know, laying out the meat in flat pieces. But do it however you want to. These will turn out great. Here's a little look at our onions over there sauteing. They're almost browned up. And so when they are, I'm gonna bring those over and just pile those right on top of that roast beef. Next, after our onions are on there, we're gonna create another layer of that provolone cheese, and then we're gonna make a little sauce that we're gonna put over the top. So we're actually just gonna use 3 tablespoons of this onion soup mix. You won't need the whole packet for this. I also have some melted butter over here, so I'm just gonna add in that onion soup and kind of give that a stir, and then just put that evenly all over the tops of our slider buns. And you can pour it or kind of use a sauce brush, but I noticed the little onions in there were kind of getting stuck in my little roll crevices, so you just kind of have to make sure, you know, they're evenly distributed. And pour the rest of that butter on there, and these are gonna bake at 350 for about 25 minutes covered, and then you'll uncover them and bake them another 5 minutes or so just to kind of brown up those tops. So while our sliders are in the oven, I just mixed up a little packet of au jus gravy mix, and that is absolutely perfect with these sliders. These come out cheesy. The bottoms of the rolls kind of bake and crisp up in that butter. It is so good, and I have to tell y'all, this is probably one of our family's new favorite sliders. These are delicious. If you're curious what we're gonna be cooking up this weekend, I'm gonna put that video right here on the screen. These sliders are so good, and ever since I made them last year, one of my kids especially has not stopped asking about them. So let me know what you're gonna make, and also let me know who you're rooting for down in the comments, and I'll see you guys real soon in my next video. Bye y'all.